Welcome into the D2 Baseball Podcast. Robert Fry here, and joined today with a special guest, Brock Buckingham, the newest head coach of Pittsburg State University in the MIAA. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Robert. I'm honored to be on your show, and I appreciate everything you do with D2 Baseball.
We appreciate that, Coach, and we'll get kind of right into it. Walk us through kind of the whole process of, eventually becoming the Pittsburg State head coach from your experience at Cowley as an assistant.
Yeah, I got a phone call from obviously our late coach, Bob Fornelli, who's a good friend of mine and a mentor, and he was fortunate. I was fortunate enough to get a phone call from him in the Pitt State University to be interested in me to lead Pitt State baseball. And once I got the phone call, it was a no-brainer on my end. I'm really familiar with Pitt State. I grew up close to the area. I know how the community is around Pitt State University, and I was super excited to join this program and very fortunate to get this opportunity. My experience at Cowley, it was off the charts. It's one of the best junior college programs in the country. I worked for two unbelievable mentors in Darren Burrows, and been there for a long time. I was fortunate to play with them, but my experience there at the junior college level was second to none, and I think it's going to help me to lead this Pitt State program.
Yeah, and you talk about Coach Fornelli. You're kind of in an interesting case because it's not like he's going away entirely. He's still kind of involved with the program, leading the NIL collective. How does that help you in terms of transitioning into this role?
Oh, it's huge, Robert. I still ask. I probably bother him too much. Asking him questions, and he has been unbelievable, outstanding to me, and I'm very grateful. He's been unbelievable, helped me the transition to understanding Division II baseball, how the compliant, everything has to do in the background, because in junior college, it's a little different, as you know, but Bob's been unbelievable, and we're fortunate. He's such a great leader to lead our NIL package, and I can't say enough about Bob Fornelli.
And, kind of going in that second part of that previous question in terms of, your experience at Cowley, as an assistant there, you were part of 12 different 40-win seasons and 5 World Series appearances. How does that breed of winning help you prepare to get into this role where, you're coming off, as you mentioned, you got big shoes to fill. You're coming off, an historic season at Pitt State.
Right. Hopefully it carries over. The good thing is I have a lot of ties in the junior college ranks, so I'm bringing a lot of junior college players with me, even from the portal or just straight from junior college. I've seen a lot of these guys play in our league, or I've trusted the junior college coaches where they've played. I love the junior college kid. He knows how to grind. They're tougher. They have some toughness about them, and hopefully they all come from winning programs, and winners win, man.
Absolutely, winners do win. And when you got this role, I'm sure that you had to hit the ground running in terms of recruiting. Talk a little bit about that process. Because you're a little bit behind the 8 ball compared to most coaches in terms of filling out your roster.
Yeah, Robert, that was probably the biggest hurdle we had to do here once I got. Bob had 26 seniors last year, and you get the job the first part of June. I'm used to junior college already pretty much having my team done. And with the high school, you get guys commit when they're juniors and seniors, but we hit the ball running. We went to a lot of the junior college ranks. I called all my good friends in junior college, like, who do you have available? We did really good in the portal, we think. But that month of June, once the portal opened, I think I was on my phone about 23 hours of 24-hour day period. but it was good. We got a roster. We're excited. I'm just ready to get to coach baseball.
Absolutely. We're all excited to see baseball. And the other side of it, too, is like your experience as a junior college coach, especially today in today's portal era. How do you think that might help you, with this transition to be able to say, like, hey, we're going to get guys in and they're going to perform here at this level?
Yeah, that's kind of my selling point is I'm a junior college guy, so obviously I'm going to recruit junior college very heavily, but I'm also, with the high school kids, I'm selling development. I have pretty good experience of developing young men at 18 years old. So that's our selling point. And obviously the portal guys, a lot of the portal guys we're getting played junior college at some point. So they all kind of have the old mindset, my mindset, a still developed, hard-nosed player, just play the game the right way.
And so now to kind of take a bit of a step back, kind of just your opinion on this, what excites you about leading the Pittsburg State program?
What excites me is it's the winning tradition that Bob left here. And that's my goal, is to keep moving forward. The community is unbelievable here. The support system, the athletic department, the whole University of Pittsburg State. I'm excited. I'm excited to go to the first football game and enjoy that. And just everything about Division II at a higher level for your university. I just can't say enough words that how excited I am to lead this team, lead this program. It's honestly, between you and I, Robert, it's really rejuvenated me as a coach. I'm really excited. It's given me a burst of energy, and I'm just ready to get the ball rolling.
And speaking of ready to get the ball rolling, what for the Pittsburg State fans, the baseball team, and I guess the players, what kind of philosophy do you plan to instill day one?
My philosophy, big, obviously it's going to be different on the mound to the plate. We can get into those details, but as a whole, as a team, all coaches, and they might not say it, but I'll say it, we're all thieves. We all steal a lot of things from other coaches. And, I was watching the College World Series this year, and Kevin Snell at Coastal Carolina, after his post-game talk, he talked about own it. Well, we're going to own it here, whatever we do. That's going to be the message. If you mess up, own it. If you do something good, celebrate it, own it. If I mess up as a coach, I'm going to own it. So what we're going to do is we're going to own it. We're going to play fast. We're going to play hard. I call it damage chaos. We're going to do damage at the plate and cause chaos on the bases. And our pitching coach, Cody Sindelar, is outstanding. He's had pitcher of the year, I think, a couple years, last 2 out of the last 3 years in our league. And he'll handle all the pitching, and I'm just excited. But the fans will see an exciting team that busts their butt and plays hard and plays the game the right way.
And, speaking of playing the game right way, I know at least the last 3 seasons, and something that, you as in your playing career as a middle infielder took a lot of pride in, is defense. And yes. So, seeing that Pittsburg State is a top 5 defensive team in terms of fielding percentage over the last 3 years, how do you plan to continue to keep that high level of success defensively?
That's going to be hard to do, to match those numbers, what they've done. But, we still – the good thing is here, I retain the staff that Bob had. Austin Bonnell does an outstanding job with defense. I think I can bring in some new things with the defensive side with being a middle infielder. One is just keep doing it. Obviously I'm going to pick Coach Fornelli's brain and keep learning how he did things too. So I think I bring a good defensive package from the junior college level, but also I'll be picking those guys' brains too. And then it's about getting good players that can play defense.
Absolutely. Those are a lot harder to attract, because again, part of it too is, the availability of defensive statistics at the collegiate level is very hard to come by.
Absolutely.
But now in terms of like developing, what have you learned in terms of player development that maybe can help you this time, instead of in an assistant role, now as in a head role?
Right. And that's a good one. I think, and I don't want to toot my own horn, Robert, but I think I have a good knack to seeing things. Obviously being a player, you see things, you believe in certain things. I picked a lot of good infield brains. Marty Lease, for example, is an infield guru. I picked his brain a lot. And the thing at the junior college about developing players, and the same will develop here, is you got to push them. You got to push them to be good. I just want our players to be as good as they can be, and I will hold them accountable. And we'll have a lot of fun doing it. But I'm going to push them to be the best they can be as a player. So that's all with an exciting way. But that's kind of my philosophy on developing, is you got to demand it. If I don't demand a lot, I won't get a lot. So I'm going to demand them to be really good.
And, on that other side too of that demand, let's talk about, academic success. How important is that to you, not only to the Pittsburg State baseball program, but to the athletes themselves?
Yeah, I think it's why we're here. It's why we do this. The good thing at the Division II level, most of the rosters are going to be older. So now most of these are finishing their degrees, and most of them you don't have to be hand over them, because they see the end of the light. They know they need to graduate. We work around class schedules. That's the most important thing first. They're here to get an education. We support that. The academics here, the academic people I've met with already at Pitt State, it works really great with us. And that's going to be the message. First team meetings, hey, we got to take care of the classroom first, and then we'll get into baseball.
And, speaking of baseball, in the conference that you're in, a highly competitive conference, obviously year in and year out, there's a team that, competes for a potential World Series and, gets close to the finish line. But, talk a little bit about your excitement, being able to be a head coach in such a competitive D2 conference.
Yeah, Robert, in my opinion, I think it's the best Division II conference in baseball there is. With what Central Missouri's done, Coach Crooks has done, he's set the bar high, really. I mean, what he's done, Coach Martin at UCO and Coach, there's so many good coaches in this league and programs. It just means the world to me that I can be able to coach against those guys and to see it day in and day out. There's no easy games, and I'm just excited for the challenge, really.
And speaking of the challenge, now I can't really speak on in terms of like how junior college works in terms of conference scheduling, but being able to, you really can't take a day off in this conference, because especially once you get to the midweek conference series, talk a little bit about, having to prepare for that, just being able to say, hey, like, a midweek game, we still have to take this game, just as serious compared to the weekend.
Yeah, that's going to be a big adjustment for me. Obviously, another big adjustment for me is, every game counts early. In junior college, you get hot for the last 2 weeks, you can make a run to the World Series. Division II with the RPI and every game matter, and so we have to be ready. We open up January 30th. We have to be ready. Every game counts. Is to condition, and manipulate your pitching staff of who's going good on a Tuesday. I mean, you're going to have 4 or 5 starters to ready to roll. Where junior college, a midweek game, you're just, it's going to be like a fall game. It's a guy's going to go 2 innings and just kind of piece it together. We're going to have to develop some more starting pitching and be good in the back end. I think that's where it affects us the most, is at the pitching staff.
In your experience too with Cowley, and here obviously the weather may not play as favorable uh, as maybe teams down south. So, how do you plan to, at least early on in the season, maybe with your experience again at Cowley, is how do you plan to maybe um, replicate being able to play out cold once fall ball ends and you're kind of in that winter phase?
Yeah, that's going to be a learning curve for me. I'm going to lean on our staff a lot that's been here at this level. Obviously at junior college you do it different than what the 4 years do. So I'm going to lean on my staff a lot to help me through this. I'll have my own ideas, but I'm going to lean on those guys. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel of what they've done here at Pitt State. I'll ask, hey, what did Coach Fornelli do? Like it's a learning process for me as well as the players. So we're going to learn from each other and work through it.
And you mentioned a little bit earlier about retaining Coach Fornelli's staff. Can you elaborate a little bit more on, just the impact of having that staff back again?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. It helped me get returners back. It helped me build a relationship with the returning players, with the staff that help. The last 2 months have been unbelievable with the staff I have. They've helped me through more than enough. I trust them. They work their butts off. It's everything I could ask for, really.
And so then with that being said, in terms of your playing career, kind of more focusing on you, in terms of your playing career, when did that kind of idea transition, that saying, hey, like, I'm going to go into coaching after playing?
Yeah, Robert. Yeah, I think it started when I went to junior college. I played at Cowley and had some success under Coach Dave Burrows, and man, he was a big mentor of me wanting to be a college coach. It started there. I went to Arkansas State and played for an old timer named Bill Buffet at Arkansas State, who was an assistant at Texas for 28 years. I learned so much from those guys. And man, I just love being at the college level. I get to treat guys like grown men. And ever since I got into college, man, this is what I wanted to do. I coached under Keith Kessinger, my last year at Arkansas State. And then I was fortunate enough to get opportunity to go back to Cowley and coach under those guys. It just felt like that's what I was supposed to do.
And, within that, you kind of talked about some of your mentors, but, who outside of, aside from coaching, you can mention more coaches if you'd like, but, who has kind of impacted you to get to where you are today?
Oh, obviously, I'm a big family guy. My parents, supported me all through this whole journey. But I would say my wife. We've been married 18 years now and been coaching ever since we met. And man, she's my rock. Like, she was a college athlete, so she gets that part of it. I bounce a lot of ideas off of her. She gives me a lot of ideas, and sometimes I don't. But for me, she supports me more than that's my support. That's my go-to. Is my best friend and my wife.
And Coach, final question I have for you, for the Pittsburg State fans and the community. What can we expect from Pittsburg State in the near future?
You can expect some exciting times. I think you're going to get effort. You're going to get energy. You're going to see a lot of baseball players in the community. We're going to be a big part of the community. You're going to see outstanding young men rolling around, and a staff that's second to none. I really think this staff is really good. But the Pitt State fans can really expect a good team that's going to give effort and energy every day.
Coach, sincerely appreciate you taking out the time to chat and talk about the Pitt State program. And, I know I'm excited to see Division II baseball, and I'm sure the Pitt State fans are also equally excited wants to see Division II baseball.
Robert, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate everything you do with Division II baseball, and go Gorillas.
And that is Brock Buckingham, head coach at Pittsburg State.